Hello guys, welcome to Educate Andhra. Myself is Prabhakar. In the LeetCode SQL series, we are going to look at problem number 1581, which is customer who visited but didn't make any transactions. So in this problem, right, there is a two tables. One is visits, the other one is a transactions. So in the real time scenario, right, we go for the malls for a shopping. So every time we go to the mall, okay, automatically a visit id will be created for each and every customer. So if at all the customer made any transaction, it can be liquid transaction or digital transactions for each and every item he bought. So for that, transaction id will be created for each and every visit, and also amount will be captured in the database. So if you see the data below, so visits table contains visit id, customer id, and the transaction table contains the visitor's transactions if at all he made any transactions. Okay, let's say I'm the customer, so I go to shopping mall. So assume that my customer id is 54. So in a 54, right, there is a three visits: visit number 5, visit number 7, and visit number 8. So first time I went to the mall, and in that case a visit id is created, which is a 5. For visit 5 I made 3 transactions: transaction id 2, 3, and 9, and amount is 310, 300, 200. Okay, so in another day, right, I just went to the shopping mall, and in that case another visitor id is created. This time is 7, and after few days again I went to the shopping mall. So this time my visitor id is 8. For 7 and 8th visit, a visitor id, so there is no transactions in the transactions table. Means even though I have visited second time and third time, so I didn't purchase any items in the mall, but for the first visit I just made 3 transactions. So here, right, my customer id should be populated in the output. So I visited 2 times without any transactions made. Like that, there is a other customer, let's say customer number 30, and his visitor id is 4. Okay, if you see in the transactions table, there is no transaction, there is no item purchased. That's why the transaction id, visit id, and corresponding amount is not available. So we need to find such kind of customers and how many times that customer didn't make any transactions. Okay, now we are going to solve this problem by using the BigQuery SQL. So we have a table available in the GCP BigQuery. So here, right, visits table. So this contains the customer and the visitor id. So visit id and customer id. So there is 7 records here, like here. Okay, here also we have a 7 transactions or 7 records. Okay, and we have a transactions table which maintains the customers transactions. Okay, which contains 5 records. So now, right, in the output we need customer id and count number of transactions. Okay, customer id is available in the visits table, and the number of transactions can be retrieved from the transactions table, which means we have to join these two tables. Otherwise we cannot select the column from two different tables. That is the first fundamental. Once we join the table, if at all for this visit 7, let's say I am the customer, my customer id is 54. For this visit, if at all there is no transaction, after joining it, right, so we can see nulls in the transaction id, visit id, and the amount column from the transactions table. Okay, now we can apply the filter where amount is null. Then definitely in that case we will get the customers who visited the shopping mall and didn't make any transactions. So let's see how to solve this problem practically. So first I will join these two. I will provide the alias name, let's say visit, and I'll do the left to join. We need definitely left to join, otherwise we cannot achieve this problem. Okay, and I'll provide alias name for this as well, let's say trans. Okay, since we have to join these two tables, we have to join based on the common column, which is visit id, visit id. Okay, perfect. Now let me execute this SQL coding. Since we put star, okay, so every column from each and every table will be selected. Okay, now if you see visit id, customer id is from the visits table, and transaction id again visit id, and amount columns from the transactions table. So if you see the data carefully below, see few records having a null, transaction id null, visit id null, amount null. Okay, let's see my data. Let's say my customer id is 54, right? For 54, for a visit id 7, I am getting a null from the transactions table. Let's see. So for 54, visit id 7, if I made any transaction, see 54, visit id 7, there is no transactions made. That's why transaction table we can see nulls. Okay, now if we apply the null, here where trans dot amount is null. Okay, now we get every visit which doesn't have any transactions made. See now 4, 7, 8 and 6, these visits doesn't have any transactions, and the customer id is 54 2 times, 96 1 time, 31 time. If you see here, we need 54 2 times, 31 time and 96 1 time. Okay, now to get the count we have to apply the group by. Let me arrange this code in a proper format. We need to select the required columns from the two tables. So we need the customer id, so customer id is available from visit table. Okay, so visit dot customer id. So let's select this first, and we need the aggregation, right? That's why keep count of. So you can select any column from the visit table. Let's say visit dot maybe a visit id. Okay, that's it. Since we are applying the aggregation, right, we have to keep the first column in the group by. Let's say keep group by 1, group by first column. Okay, now let's see, I am executing this code. There is spelling mistake here, let me change that. Okay, now we are going to get the customer id and number of visits he didn't make any transactions. See 54 2, 31, 96 1. So let me copy this piece of code and we are going to place in the LeetCode platform. So here, right, we have a BigQuery tables. Let's remove the BigQuery tables. Keep only LeetCode tables. The LeetCode tables given here, visits and transactions. So let me remove this one as well. So I just remove this special characters and all. Now let me execute this code. So it's saying User is not authenticated, so let me authenticate it. So let me execute this SQL query and let's see what is the output that we are going to receive. So it is accepted. So if you see the output below, see 31, 96 1 and 54 2. So this is exactly what this LeetCode SQL query is looking for. So our solution is accepted. That's how we can do the join from two different tables by using the left to join, and make sure we have to apply the where class. If at all we are looking for a customer visited, didn't make any transactions, definitely in that case where class is required. And finally we need to apply the count to get the those such kind of widgets. That's it guys from this video. So thank you for watching.